Hi, babies. Welcome to today's work with the poetry unit. This is an introduction to both the Poetry's Pizza unit documents document and also how to SIFTT the poem Allowables. I think you'll really enjoy it. And I'd like you to take notes either on paper or on your own SIFTT document, which you'll have access to based on this assignment. So what you'll see on here is a table of contents. These are links to documents that actually live within this document. So if you just keep scrolling, you see page 2, you'll find allowables. Well, page 1, you're looking at it. Page 2, there's allowables. But as we go further into the unit, you'll maybe not want to have to scroll, so you can simply click. If, for instance, you wanted to see the poem A Small Needful Fact by Ross Gay, you would simply click and follow the link, and it would scroll you down automatically. What you'll see on each poem is the title of the poem, the poet who wrote it, and the text of the poem. You'll also see any useful definitions that I think that you may not know or that students in the past may not have known. You'll also see some numbers next to the poems. You'll see 5, 10, 15, not much longer than that in most cases. Those are line number indicators. They're generally included at 5-line intervals so that it's not such an overwhelming number of numbers, but so that you can easily say, oh, I'm looking at line 3, because you just counted back 2 lines from line 5. So with the poem Allowables, we're going to do the same thing that we did in class by reading it twice. The first time, we will read it just to enjoy it, to savor it, to get the gist of it, the overall meaning. The second time we'll read it, and we will dig into the text. So this is Allowables by Nikki Giovanni. I killed a spider, not a murderous brown recluse, nor even a black widow. And if the truth were told, this was only a small, sort of papery spider who should have run when I picked up the book, but she didn't, and she scared me, and I smashed her. I don't think I'm allowed to kill something because I am frightened. And I've included at the bottom a definition for both brown recluse and black widow. Those are both a type of venomous spider. So if they bite you, you'll become very sick. So as we read again, we have this idea that she saw a spider, but it wasn't a dangerous spider. It was just a little one, like papery almost. And she should have run, but she didn't, and I smashed her. And then you have your person thinking, your speaker, I don't think I'm allowed to kill something because I am frightened. So let's reread. And this time we will dig into it thinking about our SIFTT protocol. So, Allowables by Nikki Giovanni. I killed a spider, not a murderous brown recluse, nor even a black widow. And if the truth were told, this was only a small, sort of papery spider who should have run when I picked up the book, but she didn't, and she scared me, and I smashed her. I don't think I'm allowed to kill something because I am frightened. So now that I've read the poem twice, I can go down to my SIFTT protocol, and I would encourage you to either write this on your paper or fill it out on here. And I'm going to start with the poem title. This is Allowables by Nikki Giovanni. Okay. And let me list some objects. Okay, so I'm going to list objects that stand out to me in the poem. Are there any repeated? Just from reading it, I can remember spider. And I remember 2 specific types of spiders, the brown recluse and the black widow. So are there any repeated, it asked? Well, spiders repeated a couple times. Let me see if there are other objects in the item. or in the poem that seem to stand out to me. So I can scroll back up. Let's see. Killed a spider. Papery spider, spider, spider. Oh, I picked up a book. Okay, so book. Maybe I'll put that in there too. Okay, so I've got spider, brown recluse, black widow, book. Now I'm going to imagine this, and I'm going to jot down at least one note for each of the 6 senses. Remembering we're doing all 5 of our ordinary senses plus a sense of movement or a lack of movement. So sight, what am I seeing? Obviously the spider. But it was kind of a papery spider. Okay. And I can see the book. What am I hearing? Well, if she smashes the spider, well, I guess I would hear the book slamming into, maybe it was a table. Is there anything to taste? When she was frightened, I guess fear has kind of a metaphorical flavor, so I can taste fright, or maybe it almost tastes like bitterness. I don't know. I'm going to leave it at fright. What are we touching? Oh, well, we're touching the book. We're touching. Oh, we're holding the book tight. Is there anything else we're touching? Not really. All right. Is there anything to smell? Maybe the spider has a smell. I don't know. I guess I could be smelling fear again. I'm going to put a question mark because maybe there isn't a strong smell. What about movement, though? There's a lot of movement in this poem. There's the book slamming, there's the spider running or not running. What you're doing here is simply generating a list of words. So now I'm going to look for figurative language. So I need to do 2 things here. I need to identify the figurative language. So I need to find it and identify it, and also explain it and how it's used and how it impacts the poem. So I'm going to come back to the poem, scroll back through my document, and I'm going to look for some figurative language. So let's see. Allowables. Okay, I killed a spider, not a murderous brown recluse, nor even a black widow. Let's see, murderous. Well, if someone's murderous, that's like a conscious thought. So maybe that's personification? I guess so. Let's see. Let's keep going. So maybe murderous brown recluse is personification. Okay, I could go with that. Was only a small sort of papery spider who should have run when I picked up the book, but she didn't, and she scared me. This is making this almost kind of a person who should have run. Should you have thought about that? I don't know. I feel like she's personifying the spider here. She scared me. I think that's what I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to go with personification. So I'm going to write down the personification. The spider is personified. Or I could write, the poet uses personification to describe the spider. The spider is personified when it's described as not murderous, because that's a human thought level, right? The impact, this is the second part, right? So I have to say what it is and what its impact is. I forgot my apostrophe there. The impact is that the spider seems more human, and she killed it. And the speaker killed it, which makes death even more tragic. Oh, wow. Now that I think about it, this is pretty sad. Okay. So for tone and title, don't go back to the poem yet. What you want to do is look at the words you've already written down and see what the connotation is of those words. So I've got spider. Okay, that's like kind of scary, but like natural. Okay, brown recluse, black widow. Those are deadly. Okay, so let me jot that down. So I've got maybe like a connotation of like fear, danger. Okay, let's keep going. Book. That's learning, right? Books make me think about learning. Okay, spider, papery book. Paper makes me think of learning too. Okay, let's go with fear, danger, learning. Okay, maybe I don't know if learning seems to fit there. Book slamming into the table. That's definitely giving me a fear. Okay, fright, book, fear, slamming, spider, running. Oh, running. Okay, so I've definitely got fear and danger in there, and maybe there's some learning. So I jotted those down. Those are kind of my notes. So I'm going to turn those into a sentence. The tone of this poem is fear, danger, and learning. Okay? And then I want to explain, how does the title also impact the meaning? Wait, I haven't thought about the title. Right. So the title, Allowables. What's Allowables? Well, that gives me some meaning, because maybe we're thinking about being able to be allowed. Okay, so what is allowable? Oh, like not being allowed to kill? She even says that she's not allowed to kill something just because she is frightened. So the title Allowables makes me think that she should learn not to be afraid. It's okay to be a little unsure in this. I'm kind of putting a little question mark. Right? So that makes me think, what about my theme? What is a life lesson? I'm gonna look back at my tone. Oh, she should learn not to be afraid. Maybe she should learn not to be afraid. Oh my gosh. The theme of this poem is that you should learn not to be afraid. Maybe I can expand that. Maybe not to like act out when you feel afraid. So not to act out when you feel afraid. So now I want to make this an ace paragraph. So I need so that's my assertion. I need my citation. Okay, so I need some evidence. Okay, so the poet says she's not allowed. Okay, so when I guess the speaker says that, when the speaker says she is not allowed to kill something, she shows, I guess, I felt like she felt kind of regretful. She shows that she is regretful. So let me connect this back to the assertion. Okay. So I have my citation. I got to connect it back to my assertion with my explanation. She feels regret. Oh, I should make that 2 words. She feels regret because she acted out of fear instead of thinking things through, which would have been better. Would be a better course of action. And now I'm done. So you want to make sure that your SIFTT looks like mine. All you're doing as you're doing a SIFTT is following the directions on the left-hand side, or that you put in your notes, and breaking down the poem into something littler, into littler pieces that you can manage. If you have any questions, please, as always, feel free to reach out. I love you. See you tomorrow.